Welcome back. Now, melanoma skin cancer cases are at a record high in the UK, with nearly 90% of the cases due to overexposure to UV rays.
Now, despite this, there's been confusing headlines recently about using sunscreen, with some people claiming daily use could affect your vitamin D levels.
So, Dr. Nighat is here with her advice. Good morning.
Good morning.
I feel like we were told, I mean, when I grew up, it wasn't really, you know, no one was really focused
It
on
wasn't,
SPF.
I know.
It wasn't a thing. And then we've been really encouraged to make sure you use SPF all year round on your face, on, you know, constantly, whether it's rain or shine. But now this feels like we're going back again, and we're maybe using too much, and it's affecting our vitamin D levels.
And the rise
what do we believe? What do we do?
The rise of misinformation around vitamin D, whether it's good for us, whether actually it does prevent cancer, is rife on TikTok and all these social media platforms. So the baseline, I would say, do you know what? It doesn't stop the absorption of vitamin D. What sunscreens do is they just prevent UV radiation affecting and damaging the skin cells. But the synthesis of vitamin D still happens underneath your skin. And on balance, it's better that you have sunscreen on because, like we were saying earlier, skin cancer is on the rise. And also, you can get vitamin D supplementation. So a little capsule that I take in the morning covers my vitamin D content that I need. And also food, diet, a great source of vitamin D, your oily fishes, your red meats, your yolks from your eggs. So vitamin D, you'll get it from other places, but sunscreen still must remain all year round.
That's so good to hear.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah.
Again, it's like there's so much stuff going online, and it's so hard to know what to believe and what not to believe. How often should we be wearing sunscreen, do you think?
So the British Skin Foundation says every year, day in, day out, and if you're in sunny spots, then topping up every 2 hours if you're sweating or you're getting yourself wet as well. And the statistics are quite shocking. 67% of us Brits do not wear our sunscreen at all. And in fact, last week I had to refer a patient of mine who was really young, 18 years old, and she had this fundamental belief that the sunshine in the UK is completely different, say, to the Med. And I just looked at her and she said, but all my friends believe that it's not so intense because we get cloudy days, so wearing sunscreen isn't important. But actually, it's still important on cloudy days. You'll still get UV rays that can damage skin.
I've got to be honest, I only sort of came to this about a year ago. I started wearing SPF every day.
Yeah, and I think that has also stemmed from vanity, too. Like, you'd see someone, then they'd do a lovely facial and they say, you're wearing your SPF, and that's sort of how I got introduced to it. Can we talk about different skin tones as well? Because, you know, I've got family members and friends that are like, I don't need to wear it because I'm darker, so it's fine. It won't come for me, I'm not going to burn. But it's still very important.
Yeah, it's known as a sunscreen gap, actually, and it's perpetuated by medical health professionals. So I'm really embarrassed to say this, that the education around darker skin hasn't been there. So myths like, because you have higher melanin in black skin tones or brown tones like myself, then actually your risk of getting skin cancer is lower. That's not true at all. Your risk of skin cancer is still there. There's also a belief that black people are protected because of their skin tone, and they are less likely to get skin cancers. When actually the data shows that if someone is white and Caucasian, they go into hospital for, say, skin changes, they are 9 times more likely to be offered sunscreen advice or even prescribed it than someone who is of a darker tone. And that is essentially just institutionalised racism in the healthcare system, and also the way the data is collected when it comes to marginalised communities. So the advice still for darker skin tone is please do wear sunscreen. It's really important. Not only does it protect you from sunspots or skin damages because you get that inflammation. So wherever you get inflammation, you're going to get changes in cells, but it protects against wrinkling. So it was really good when you mentioned that about facials, but also helps anti-aging, it keeps your skin clearer. And so it's really important to make sure that you're topping up on sun-exposed areas, so your face, your hands, your chest, back of the neck. The sort of adage was that you could tell men who had been driving for a long time because their arm out the window was the one that would change colour. And actually, you want to have, like, a good tan, but you will still tan even when you wear sunscreen.
My stepdad's a truck driver, so he's just got one really tanned arm. Really tanned arm.
Can we talk about online? Because this always happens. We think we're making progress, and then kind of there'll be this trend on TikTok, and there is, you know, what comes with that is great. Sometimes it's great information, but also sometimes it's the misinformation, and then that spreads like wildfire, and then we're all now being told that actually it isn't safe. So can you talk us through SPF and the safety behind it?
So SPF is basically the factor that you're using, and we normally say at the bare minimum 30, but a higher SPF is better, so 50. And there's this sort of myth that, oh, it's in my makeup, so I'm going to be covered. So I wear foundation which has got SPF in it, but actually the data still shows that's probably not effective enough to give us what we need. So I would say, do you know what? Look at sunscreen as the icing on the cake. So wear it as your layer, and then you can wear your foundation on top of that, because again, it should be that effect of anti-wrinkling. The other myth that we have out there is sun tanning is okay because you can use sunbeds, etc. No, sunbeds are still, please don't do it. I know that there are some, you can cherry pick lots of studies. That's the problem with online information. You can literally pick a study to fit your narrative or whatever you're trying to do. So be really careful when you're looking at what you're looking at and how backed up with evidence data. Sunbeds are still, unfortunately, the #1 cause where you can get inflammation on the skin, and that can damage the skin and then put you at high risk of getting, say, skin melanoma, which is one of the most malignant cancers that you can get. And so it's really important if you see a mole to do the A, B, C, D, E criteria. A, is it asymmetrical? B, what's the border like? Is it irregular? C, is it 2 skin tone colours? D, look at the diameter, so greater than about 4 to 7 millimetres. E, is it rapidly evolving? So if you see skin moles, then please take a photograph and track them.
Honestly, I tell you what's changed my life, tannin drops. Little tannin drops in my moisturiser. It's changed my life.
There you go.
I absolutely love it.
You are glowing, my love.
Sometimes I do too many, and my wife's like, how many of you? You've done 10 today, haven't you? 10
just
drops.
two, Joel,
many.
just two.
Too many. Nadine, as someone in the beauty world, you see firsthand the misinformation being spread by beauty influencers online with this. What are your thoughts on all of this?
I do think that TikTok and Instagram are mainly to blame for this. My advice would be, if you've got a bad foot, you go to a podiatrist. If you've got a bad eye, you go to an optometrist. Only listen to the advice of dermatologists. They are the skin doctors. Nighat and I interview them regularly. And without a doubt, 100% dermatologists will tell you, you need an SPF. And I know when you're young, you think you're going to live forever and you're not going to get older and you're not going to get wrinkled. Even if you dismiss the idea that an SPF can actually prevent skin cancer, which it absolutely can. Trust me, you do not want a nice young face and then a wrinkled old chest like me when you get older. Please, 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 please follow the advice of dermatologists. They're the ones that know what they're talking about, not influencers.
And a trusted voice. Like,
yes.
You know, if you're going to follow her, follow Nadine, because she shares accurate information and it's coming from a right place and it's not trend-led, it's not, you know, it's facts. So I think that's really important. We follow everyone and just think it's gospel.
It's so hard. You see something online and you immediately go, well, this is true. You don't even think twice about believing it. It's so mad. It's really interesting.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.